All right, and we're live. Hello, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here. Wanted to hop on to KVUE Plus and all of our streaming platforms and talk a little bit about the heat, not just the heat that we experienced today, but unfortunately, more significant heat that remains in our forecast for tomorrow. We may see the numbers drop slightly, and by slightly, I mean maybe a 105, a 104 this weekend. And then next week, high pressure builds back in, and I think that the numbers by the middle of next week could be just as hot, if not maybe a little bit hotter than what we are experiencing right now. So I'm streaming here on my Facebook page. We've got all of our digital platforms. I'm keeping an eye on the chat, so if you guys have any comments as we go through this, please let me know. Let's start with the numbers today. 108, the high today for Camp Mabry, officially our hottest day so far of the year. It was 104 today. At the airport, the average is 96. We're obviously way above that. The record today, though, believe it or not, 108 was not a daily record. That's because at this time a year ago, we were in the midst of an even more significant heat wave. The high a year ago today was 109. Although today was not the daily record, don't be confused about this. We are certainly dealing with heat that is in the upper echelon of July standards. Here are the July average temperatures. As you can see, through the 12th of this month, the average temperature, and if this seems low, it averages the afternoon as well as the mornings, so it's a blend. But the average temperature has been 88.9 degrees. That is fourth hottest July on record. Now I want to show you the hottest afternoon temperatures period since records began, and this goes back over 100 years for our main reporting site at Camp Mabry. Last year, you guys will probably remember this, we had a day that hit 110. We had a day in 2018 that also hit 110 in the month of July. 109 has actually happened 3 times. It happened 2 times last July and in 1954. And then we get to 108, which happened today, happened last year, and it's happened on a number of other years. So today's 108 means that today is now tied for the 6th hottest July day on record for Austin. So we are living through significant heat, and we are living through weather history. Just to show you the numbers across the rest of our KVUE area, 104 for Taylor today. It was 105 in Georgetown, 108 today in Llano. Llano continues to be one of the hottest spots. 106 for Horseshoe Bay. It was 102 in Fredericksburg. Okay, now let's shift into kind of future mode here. We talked about how significant our heat was for today. We have an excessive heat warning. Yesterday it was a heat advisory. It's been upgraded, so the excessive heat warning is the step up. That's now in effect for the I-35 corridor, points east, and then also Burnett, Llano, Mason counties, our northern hill country counties. An easier way to say this, for all of our counties except for Blanco and Gillespie counties. Feels like temperatures could be as high as 114. I believe Austin got as high as 111 today. Could be even hotter than that for some tomorrow. Tomorrow's daily record in Austin is 108. As you'd expect, another record from back last year. And I have 108 in our forecast again. So with tomorrow's record being a degree cooler, degree less hot, I do think that we will likely tie the daily record for tomorrow. And these are the numbers across all of Central Texas. I have 104 in the forecast for Bastrop tomorrow. 104 for Giddings, Austin, again 108, Llano 108, Burnett 105, Mason 106, Fredericksburg, we're looking at about 103, San Marcos 105. That's the air temperature. I'm going to queue up the heat index values for you. And our new model data is actually showing that this could be as high as 115. I think 113, 114 is a little bit more realistic. But with these type of numbers, the point being you're not going to feel a difference between 114, 115. This is very significant heat, so just make sure you continue to take it seriously. I apologize. They're running some tests here in the studio ahead of our 10 o'clock newscast with the studio audio. But let's talk about how things unfold as we go over the next couple of days and then for next week. So here's the situation right now. The heat dome is centered over New Mexico and West Texas. You guys know the way that this works. The stronger it is and the closer it is to us, the hotter our weather is going to be. Now, let's go over the next few days. What happens is the heat dome does strengthen, but it actually moves a little farther away from us, so it's going to be centered out west. This is going to be a big national story. You're going to see really, really intense heat over parts of Southern California, into Arizona, Utah, parts of the desert Southwest. What happens, though, and this is going to be the stretch of our forecast around Sunday afternoon where we get our least hot weather. We're going to be around 105, 104 for our afternoon high. Still, that's about 10 degrees above average. But then watch what happens as we get into the middle of next week. They're still playing around with the studio audio here. As we get into next week, the heat dome is going to build in directly over Texas. And so as we get in the middle and end of next week, our numbers look just as hot as what we're seeing right now, if not even hotter. So here's the trend over the next 5 days. 108 tomorrow. Heat dome gets a little farther away, so I've got 105 for Friday, Saturday 105, Sunday. It's maybe wishful thinking, but I've got 104 in the forecast, Monday 105, and then beyond that, we'll see the heat build as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. There's no rain chances in the forecast, so the other aspect of this forecast that I don't want to gloss over is the fire danger, which is increasing. The humidity is not low. This is not a dry heat, so that is actually a mitigating factor, actually lowering the fire danger a little bit compared to what we would otherwise have. But the air temperature is so hot, it's been breezy. And with the lack of rain, the fuel, everything on the ground is just so dry already that all of those factors are overcoming the humidity. So we have moderate fire danger for Austin tomorrow, but northwest Travis into the hill country, it's high to very high, and it's a similar setup on Friday with the high and very high fire danger, even a bit more widespread. Okay, so here's our 7-day forecast. And I see Darlene is watching here on Facebook. Hello, everybody. Here's the 7-day forecast. 108 tomorrow, Friday 105, Saturday 105, Sunday 104. Again, that is the least hot number on our 7-day. Monday 105, and then as we get into the middle of next week, the numbers are ramping up again. I have 106 for Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'm being a little bit conservative just because that's, 5 to 7 days from now. It's possible that here in the next couple of days, we could have some more 107s, 108s on the 7-day forecast. So that's the type of heat that we are dealing with. And then just to show you our 8 to 14-day outlooks, here's the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. This is valid July 20th through the 26th. That is a high likelihood of above average temperatures here across just about the entire Lone Star State, but especially here in South Central Texas. And then just to show you what's going on right now, it is coming up on 9:30, and it is a balmy 96 right now in Austin. It is still 97 in Llano. Let me find the heat index values for you. Let's see what the feels like temperature is right now. It feels like 105. Let me see if I can grab this graphic for you. We have 80 degrees in the forecast for tonight. That would tie the record warm morning low temperature. And last night, if you joined us at 10, we talked about how summer nights are getting much warmer. I'm going to try and find this graphic for you real quick. Here it is. Exactly what I was looking for. Summer nights, yes, in fact, are getting warmer. Here's a full look at this. Over the past 50 years, since about 1970, on average, summer nights are about 2.8 degrees warmer. So if you're feeling like, hey, I've been here for a while back in the day, I feel like we at least got a little bit more relief at night. Well, you'd be true. A change in climate, urban heat island effect, all factors in this, but our morning temperatures as well really struggling to get even into the upper 70s. So that is all we have for you on the forecast. Let's see. Been on here for about 9 minutes. I'll stick on for another minute or two. We'll chat for a little bit, and then, of course, we'll have our full newscast coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. For anybody just now joining us, these are the numbers that we saw today. It was 108 today in Austin. Just brutal, brutal heat. And while I'm thinking about it, I want to show you our numbers from last year, July last year, which was, believe it or not, I know you believe it, most of you were living through it, was hotter than what we have experienced so far this month. So let me pop in here. Let me see if I can find this. I've got about 400 graphics in my workspace that I'm always trying to sift through. Here it is. So these were the numbers for July 2022 last year. All 31 days were above average. And look here, so we're on the 12th. Look at the week that we were experiencing. On the 10th, it was 110. On the 11th, it was 109. On the 12th, a year ago, it was 109. On the 13th, 108. 14th, 103. Then we got a random 99 in there. I believe we got maybe like a tiny little bit of rain, but you can see the numbers that we had last year, all sorts of records. Last year was the hottest July on record for Austin. We are a little bit off of that pace, and I hope we don't catch up. Average temperature so far this month has been 88.9. Through the 12th of July last year, the average temperature was 90.8, so we're not quite that hot, but you get the idea. Excessive heat warning in effect for tomorrow along and east of I-35 and for our northern hill country counties. That means that the feels like temperature could be as high as about 114. These are the air temperatures. I expect 108 once again for tomorrow. All right, I will leave you with that. Hazel says, what was today's feels like temperature? I believe the max for Austin was 111. I think San Marcos was about 113 today. It was 110 plus for much of Central Texas. But I will leave you guys with that. And we'll take a quick little breather here, and then we'll do our full newscast coming up tonight at 10 o'clock on KVUE. Just updated all of our blogs. We've got like 4 of them right now on KVUE.com. So we've got our main forecast blog. We have an update on how today stacks up in the record books. Again, tied for the 6th hottest July afternoon on record. We've got a detailed breakdown of that. We've got an extended update on our forecast, and then Grace today actually did an article talking about how the heat that we're experiencing here in Texas compares to the hottest temperatures overall in the United States. So whatever you would like to know about the weather forecast, we have available right now on KVUE.com and on our app. Thanks for tuning in with us this evening. I will let you go, and I will see you guys tonight at 10 o'clock on KVUE News.